we can't talk about data without also mentioning about standards, Michael, right? So there are standards and certifications. So what standards, Michael, do you think companies should adopt to first win cross-border trust in the trade and the business relationships that are being built in the UK and India?
Well, India has for years, been known to some degree as a bit of a Raj state with a lot of regulation, a lot of special requirements. And I would encourage India to look very hard at the ISO, the International Standards Organization system.
Yeah.
Because what standards companies comply with? Well, there are many. It depends on what area you're in. But largely the ISO system encompasses most of the operational standards. And then in Geneva and Bonn, you'll find something called ISEAL, the International Social and Ethical Alliance. That covers, to a large degree, other standards to do with sustainability and ethics. So those are the kind of two broad bodies of international standards. And I would point out that when China acceded to the WTO a quarter of a century ago, the one great thing the Chinese did, which is often unremarked, is they slavishly followed the Western model of standards. They created an accreditation body for the nation. That accreditation body had certification bodies which competed, and that allowed China to enter immediately into the global food network and supply food. It allowed China to enter into the steel and manufacturing networks. They just religiously followed international standards. And where that meant there was a conflict with national standards, for the most part, the national standards faded away. And I would commend that approach to India, because that will ensure trade, not just with the UK, but with the world. And ISO exists for a very, very good reason, and that's it. Take, for example, the case of AI.
Yes.
There is now there's not a new, it's actually quite an old standard in the sense the project began about a quarter of a century ago, and that was to create something called ISO 42001. And that standard is for the responsible management of AI, and it's a certificate that would allow Indian companies to go anywhere, including Britain, and say, we are very responsible in our use of AI, and we can demonstrate that, and somebody has come in and audited us against that standard.
It's always interesting to hear from you, Michael, your nuggets of wisdom on all of these, right? So thank you very much.